You are watching Travel World Online.
Inbound tourism has great future. Our target is to achieve 30 million visitors by 2030. Rakesh Verma. Assessment of our source markets are of prime importance. Sheo Shekhar Shukla, Secretary Tourism, Madhya Pradesh. Aviation Minister says 5 X-ray machines added at Delhi airport in 9 days. Our trade partners in India has helped us surpass our annual target of 2022. Meliswa. 37th IATO Convention on second day started with the first business session on the theme of the convention. Inbound tourism, what lies ahead? Speaking on the topic, Rakesh Verma, Additional Secretary Tourism, Government of India said,
So you mentioned before pandemic, in 2019, the foreign exchange 2,11,000 crore, and also the numbers, if you look at 17.9 million. It wasn't exactly crystal ball, but clear projection by the ministry. We were looking at doubling that number by 2030. There was a committee of secretaries which had deliberated how this sector is going to grow. This disruption of COVID definitely is going to impact. So the most conservative numbers we're looking at is still 25 million by 2030. But we also have a chance of achieving 30 million by 2030. And the confidence comes from our 17.9 million is just about 1.25% of global international tourist arrivals. A country like India deserves much better. So there is a clear potential for us to increase our share in the global market. The biggest constraint we had in tourism sector was on the supply side. The world today knows about India. What we have to offer, I'm sure, is unparalleled. And on the supply side is where we have really scored very well, whether it's in terms of connectivity infrastructure, whether in terms of the cities getting better infrastructure, whether it's about digital or connectivity. So something which was earlier not exposed to, the destinations which were far off. So this whole strengthening and development on the supply side is a great confidence that India has a great future. So what lies ahead is a great future for inbound tourism.
In response to a question about schemes and benefits to tour operators, Mukesh Meshram, Principal Secretary Tourism and Culture, Uttar Pradesh, said,
Those who will help us out in
promoting
promoting and branding UP, everybody will get that benefit. That we will make sure under our policy, because we are framing the guidelines and rules. So policy is out. So in the guidelines we will mention it that UP tourism stalls, if somebody is associating with that or promoting UP, then they will be benefited out of it.
Sheo Shekhar Shukla, Principal Secretary Tourism, Government of Madhya Pradesh, said,
This inbound tourism, of course, is a very serious business. It is easier said than done. So we in Madhya Pradesh are very consciously working towards a very well-chartered roadmap, which is a multi-pronged, multifaceted roadmap. So the first of all, we need to understand the international market, their needs, their priorities. Especially post-pandemic, there's been a paradigm shift. Now people are looking for different kind of products, different kind of experiential, itineraries. So we need to figure out that depending on the source country, what is that we need to offer them. So that market assessment is very important, and then positioning ourselves into that mold and branding ourselves to satisfy the demand.
Sachin R Jadhav, Director Tourism, Government of Odisha, said,
So through the years, if you see the budget allocation of the state of Odisha for tourism, 2018, it was 80 crore rupees. 2022-23, I have just completed that exercise of proposed budget for next year, 23-24. That budget outlay that we have given is for 600 crore rupees.
Great.
700% jump. Over last 3 consecutive years, I have been working as Director Tourism Odisha. I was never busy in my life before. So many things to do. Why? Because of the learnings that the government has made over the years. Coming back to the remark, late entrant, Odisha was one of the first states in the country that started Tourism Development Corporations. In 1960s, Odisha Tourism Development Corporation was established. It had 20 hotels back then. In a state which had little business enterprises, especially in hospitality sector. At that time, the state initiated these hotels, a chain named Pantha Nivas. 30 wayside amenities were created. Over the years, and this time has come now that the private entrepreneurs have been matured, and we are leasing out these properties to private enterprises to run on their own because the sector is matured. In my audience, I see Mr. Raj Singh here. We have handed over 4 of our catamarans that were run by the state to them to develop. We encourage the private investors. Now the core question, what is the role of tour operators here? Over the years we have learned, every government has learned, that there are 3 aspects of tourism industry that cannot be separated from each other. The Principal Secretary, sir, Uttar Pradesh, yesterday and today also, he highlighted the importance of storytelling, the narratives. Uttar Pradesh has so many stories to tell. He highlighted the aspects of monitoring, this marketing. I would add to that, in continuation to that, there are 3 sectors. Number 1 is infrastructure. Number 2 is promotion. Promotion means advertisement, sales, marketing. And number 3 is incentivizing the investment to the state. If any of these 3 components is absent in tourism sector is bound to fail. It will never grow. And this tour operator's role is in each of these 3. If I count infrastructure, for example, infrastructure, what kind of infrastructure? The infrastructure that can enhance the stories, that can engage a tourist to that particular place. We have 480-kilometer long stretch of sea coast, numerous scenic beaches. What use are they if the tourist cannot enjoy that beach? If he cannot stay there for more than 15 minutes. I have a very scenic beach in Puri, for example, Golden Beach. What a tourist will go there and do if there is no infrastructure there? Adequate infrastructure was made so that this beach was identified as one of the first 8 blue flag beaches in the country. Now a tour operator has a story to sell. This contributes to this kind of infrastructure. Promenade developments, science parks, museums. These are the infrastructure where the tour operators have direct and indirect role to play to tell their stories. Promotion. How will a promotion happen without tour operators? Who are tour operators? What is this industry? Meshram sir called you Sarthi. I would add to that. If the blood circulation system of our body, it stops even for fraction of a second, we will not survive. Tour operators are the circulation system of the blood of the economy of the country. This tourism promotion cannot happen unless you tell the stories and you sell the stories. The hotels will not run unless you transport the people to those countries. Economy runs because of the promotion done by the tour operators. And in this regard, our Odisha tourism policy, this is a revised tourism policy 2022. This is 3rd edition of our policy.
Rajiv Mehra, President IATO, shared views of the industry. He said,
The point of view as far as tour operators is concerned, we are still getting over the pandemic at the moment. Although the hotels have already come out, but we have not. Inbound is still about 20-25%, mostly coming to about 1/3 of what we used to do in 2019-20. Now, what our request, Mr. Verma is here, has been that the most important thing is overseas promotions, which is not there at all. With the efforts of Mr. Verma and Mr. Arvind Singh, we did get the WTM pavilion, and both of these officers have been trying, and they have succeeded in taking us to Fitur and ITB. Now, yesterday also I was talking with Mr. Arvind Singh that those who have applied for MDA, for WTM, they've still not heard anything from them. Whereas I was promised, and I had promised my friends in the trade, the government will give you whatever it is, otherwise I'll fund you from my pocket. So I think the time is coming that I might have to fund out something from my pocket to ask them for the MDA for Fitur as well as for ITB also. So this is first thing which we want, and next step would be road shows abroad. We have to start off with almost a decision being taken to close the Indian officers, tourist offices abroad. We have to start road shows. I have no idea how much they would be able to contribute. I will not name a country whose ambassador had called me up, giving us 3 days notice to send a delegation to that country. They'll do everything. I said, how you expect me to send people for 3 days? This is not a taxi stand. नहीं आप इकट्ठे कर लो, मैं कहाँ से इकट्ठे कर लूँ यार? So we have to have time. We have to organize in such a fashion.
You are watching Travel World Online.